down with Tim. What did Tim tell you to do about your fuel pressure problem?
We gotta check all the fittings going to the carburetor. Thing is, I already checked most of them. Well, not most of them, all of them, and where he dislocated his shoulder, so now James is going to be driving the B-Mod for us. Our man is here. How do you feel? How do you feel? I said it hurts.
I bet you do.
I said it was out 2 inches down and 4.5 inches out. They gave me fentanyl through the nose, and I was more worried about someone driving my damn race car tonight than letting it sit in the trailer.
Hey, the jack's under it, Jim.
There you go, Tim.
Good thing Kaylee grabbed it.
I was already down,
So this is James's heat race. Starting on the pole.
You just drive in, it's like you push the clutch and
yeah, we don't have that. That's why I have a lot of front braking and I don't like that feel. Well,
I gotta find a pen now.
You need a pen? I got a pen. Cody, let me help you.
There you go, Jiggy.
I was gonna say that.
Well, you have a t-shirt.
You got the full meal deal now.
Look at that. Cody's buying yet another.
Well, you know, after if James wins in this thing, the deal is he has to build me a new MB Custom for nothing.
Oh, okay.
Use that right now.
You know, if you look underneath the seat, there's a sippy cup too.
That's if you get thirsty under yellow.
He found your gum.
No, that's true gum when you're racing. He stores it in there.
He even has to have an extra piece to put under his leg in case a yellow comes out and he needs new gum.
You never know. At least you're not Dick Trickle and having a smoke in yellows.
Trying to
like these, you got to build as much momentum as you can. And the best way to do that is to not, slip a tire. So.
Yep. Yep. Well, you kept it in one piece.
We didn't flip her over.
What did James have to say about the car?
It was teetering the left front off the ground too much. It starts a lot of speed, and he thinks it has too much rear steer because it's driving the car to the wall. And like Dad said, it teeters a lot more with him driving it because he drives it in different than I do.
Because he is used to a late model.
Yeah, where they enter higher and they drive it different, where I'm not. And like James said, it's not a knock on you, and Tori said the same thing, not a knock on you, because there's two different ways to drive, a bunch of different ways to drive it, but it's not, obviously it's not working, and so we gotta fix it for tomorrow. And like Dad said, we have nothing to lose. So.
Well, it's not working for him. He drives the car different.
Yeah.
So if you're driving it, it would have been probably, I think, a little bit different story. Because you're used to the car. He's not used to driving that car. He's used to more horsepower. When you get a little tight, you just give him more gas.
That's what he said.
Wider tires, the bigger spoiler. You can use the gas and turn yourself. He's having to use the brake, and he's not used to that.
Yeah, that's what he did kind of say that when
Or there is asking what the hell happened. It's weird because I know a lot of people, and there's a lot of other people I don't know that's asked too, like what the hell happened. And it's a weird story, I'm gonna tell you, but the crazy driver over here, that one, no, right there, that one right there. Got it? Which one? That one right there. She hit a bump.
you're gonna blame it on me.
Well, technically it was your fault.
Well, technically,
Maybe if you would have drove it, you wouldn't have done it.
Or Mom, if she would have put the cap on the medicine.
If you would have drove, you wouldn't have got there in time. You're too slow.
I was cruising.
Yeah, you hit that bump at like 80 miles an hour.
yeah,
I was going 40.
Was that Jimmy?
Yeah.
Either way, we're here. They got it back in place. Like Mom said, you gotta take it a week at a time. Hopefully get in the car this year. If not, we'll figure it out and maybe get Tim in it or have Giossi keep racing. I don't know. We'll get it figured out.
it's just I said just take one day at a time.
That's what you said, but
Yeah, one day at a time.
yeah, I mean, you know what? Pull alongside of them. Don't just drive your line. And when you get to the center of that corner there, you're gonna have no choice besides to cut down on this tech. And you know what? You might piss them off, but don't worry about it. Be Gavin Olsen. Go out there. Only way you're gonna get better is to keep trying, keep driving. But you gotta remember, if you come in too low, you're gonna push every time. It doesn't matter how loose your car is. Same thing with Cedar Lake. Come in too low. Same thing Ogilvy, probably Deer Creek. Come in too low, you're gonna push.
Entry is everything.
Entry, you cannot get out, and you cannot get out of the corner until you get in. And if you get in, then you can worry about getting out. You come in the corner, you should be on the verge of spinning every lap. I mean, I watched AJ Demo in 2019 before this place closed down for COVID. He was winning a pizza here, and he had like a straightaway lead on, I think it was Jimmy Mars or Jesse Glenn or something like that. Then he spun out, coming to the checkered flag, and turns 3 and 4 because they're just so on the edge, driving so hard every lap that mistakes aren't made. But you need to be on the edge every lap, and that comes with time. But you have to feel it in your butt. Yeah, and it's a weird term, but you really do. You gotta. I mean, when you come in the corner, it's dang near like you're gonna spin out. But as time goes on, you can't learn that, Gavin, or anyone watching. You can't learn that unless you're on that verge every time. And you can't learn it without spinning out to know where your limitations are. And once you figure that out, this racing thing gets a lot easier because you know that you have to come in sideways, and you have your limitations. Okay, I can drive it in so far because I'm not going to spin out yet. And you're like, oh, okay, I've already out of the gas. Because
So
So we got a new episode because Cody got hurt. We're going to call it,
What is that?
What is that? So we're going to run around out here and talk to some of the ladies of the racers and ask them some questions. And the first one's going to be Sunday Olson.
Oh boy.
So, Sunday.
Yes.
No laugh. When a racer said he's loose going in, what does that mean?
I think it means that his ass end is too willy-nilly, I think. like,
Hold on, I think NASCAR's calling. Okay, so we got another one, son. You got the first one kind of right. So what does it mean when a racer tells you he's got his car's towed out? What's that mean?
when your tires are going like this, or like this,
Well, what is it?
like this,
Like this? You sure? Final answer?
toe out. I think so.
Good. Okay, so you've got 2 for 2, so we're gonna get a little tougher now because you
Okay.
kind of got. Now we see why Gavin's so fast.
Yeah.
The pit crew's so fast, so good.
Sorry, Gab.
Okay.
He'll get there eventually. Yes.
Okay. So explain bump steer.
What?
Bump steer. Explain bump steer.
When you hit the person in front of you and then you steer? Saturday afternoon. There's been a lot going on in here this afternoon. Just fixing stuff from last night and then just trying to decide what changes to make to the car. But it's all hands on deck. We're getting ready for hot laps. James will be down here in a minute to jump in and try her out. So we just completed hot laps. These guys are talking about setup changes for the new feature.
Yeah, spacer off, obviously.
Maybe take the 3 out. Take 3 out, take space out. If it stays like that. Take 2.5 out, take space out. It's one with there's traction. Otherwise, it's like you're skating till you get to it.
You're talking about.
A lot of that, I think, is real nice when you have that spacer. Do that.
So we're gonna start checking air pressures in the tires to see what we have for stagger. What James thinking about the car. Obviously he drives it differently than you do, so kind of what he's thinking.
I'll start and say this first and foremost. You pan this camera around here. I mean, everyone, Corey, Amber, John, Owen, Dad's on the other side of the car, and you can't see him. But if it wasn't for everyone that has chipped in with the injury I got on the way here, I went to Costco at all. Special thanks to James Biasi for being so willing to jump in. You know, he hasn't raced a team on in, like you said, 7 years. So,
Yeah, I mean, for James, it's a huge thing because he hasn't raced a B mod in 7 years, and for him to just be willing to jump in,
yeah.
because he hasn't driven it.
Well, so you have that. He doesn't know much about it. It's a Punky Manor Challenge of Champions race. You know, it's a crown jewel event, and he's just willing to jump in. I mean, I've learned a lot. Now, being the owner of the stuff, you have to. I can tell you what I can feel, but he drives totally different than I drive. You know, he's used to open late model stuff, and this is a 2-barrel B-mod class, so it's all about momentum and keeping the car straight. Last night, you went out there for the heat race and started on the pole, and we didn't do so well. We finished in the back. car was all over the place. It teetered a lot, lifted the left front off the ground and slamming it back down. It's just not a consistent way to race. And I didn't deal with those issues when I drove the car, so it's just kind of weird how the car reacts to different people in it. So today we made some adjustments based off of what he wanted to do, and went out there for hot laps. The car looked better, but it's so hard to say. I know what he's talking about. He said it was when there was moisture and you got a hold of something, it was great. But when it was on the dry, it wasn't so great. So kind of going back on some of our changes here to make it better for the B. We started 7th. We have some work to do. We got to pass, I think, 2 or 3 cars to get in to take the top lap, so 2 cars to get in. But it's not going to be easy, and I just really hope we get in for the sake of everyone here busting their butts and our family. This is like we talked about earlier. This is a big show for my family, and it's unfortunate what happened, but it's the cards we were dealt, and you just have to move forward. I really hope we can get in for the sake of him getting in.
Yeah, whatever.
Never drove a race car before.
number.
I guess he's going to be back racing, huh?
Well, Cody.
You can still buy me a new one.
Yeah, right. Sorry, but you didn't. Not only did you dislocate your shoulder this weekend, not only were you unable to race the Punky Manor Challenge of Champions, but the worst news maybe of all is you did not win the MV Custom.
The good news is you can still buy me one.
Yeah, right.
Wildfire above us when the
Yeah, sorry.
I don't know, I reached back there in the back seat with my left arm. Can't obviously do it, but and it was like straight back. And there's like a water, I think it's like a water drain right in the middle of the road, and Amber hit it. Nothing she could have done about it. And when that happened, my elbow hit the edge of the center console. And when that happened, I think it knocked it out. And it was just a reaction. And I pulled my arm forward, and that's when it threw everything forward. And so when it came out, it popped up and out. And the out part, I think, came because I reacted and went like that, and it was already out, so it just flew out. So anyways, I was like, oh my god, my arm. It obviously had some cuss words in there. They were pulled over. We got back home. My dad looked at it, and anyone that knows my dad knows that he doesn't go to the hospital or the doctor for anything, or just anything.
Well, he used to be a police officer, so he's put
Right.
Shoulders back in before. But after his assessment...
Yeah, he's like, you're going to the hospital. And I told him, I said, but Dad, can't you just please get it in and we can hurry up and get to the races? He's like, Cody, I am not touching it. So at that point, we all knew it was pretty bad. Rushed to the car.
We sent Tim and Amber to the racetrack so they could get things ready, and
so I
we headed to the ER.
Mark Girth first. He's the guy that builds my shocks and a bunch of shocks for everyone else at MB Customs. He didn't answer, so I called James Giassi. He was, I have a lot of other people I know, but there's not too many people that can fit in my seat, first of all. And everyone else that already races B-Mods already had their car there and racing their own car. So there's very limited options, but
and you didn't want...
I trust James.
Yeah.
Very respectful person, respectful of our equipment. I knew I wasn't going to put someone in the car that was going to go out and wreck my stuff right away. And if he did, oh well, stuff happens. But trust his opinion. He's a very, very talented late model racer. He's all around great guy. We share some common sponsors, so it was the right fit at that moment. Wasn't obviously the best weekend, but like he said, and as you guys could see, he doesn't race B-Mods ever. It was his first time in a B-Mod in 7 years. Last time he was in a B-Mod at Menominee, he broke his back. So, I'm very thankful that he was, willing and able to just hop right in, especially that I was hurt. I didn't want the car sitting in the trailer. We were already going there. We probably would have had other options too, had he not done it, but we didn't have to worry about that. So, dislocated the shoulder. They got it back in my spot. I have a doctor's appointment this Friday. See what they have to say about it. Hopefully it's good news, not bad news, but either way, they're thinking 2 to 8 weeks out for sure. So, what? I'm not going to push it. I'll tell you that. Right away I was wanting to get in the car, but hindsight, I don't want to hurt my recovery and have to have surgery. So, if I'm not back in the car this year, we'll get it figured out. The plan for this weekend, though, I'll tell you this much. We're going to either be at Madison Speedway in Madison, Minnesota, or we're going to be at Granite City Speedway or Motorplex or something like that in Sauk Rapids, Minnesota, which is St. Cloud. I'm going to put my dad behind the wheel, which is always interesting. Many of you up here know my dad. He has a very successful racing career. Every year he's raced my B-Mod except for this year, so maybe I should have let him race it earlier and I wouldn't have had to do it now, but that's hindsight. So looking forward to it. Hopefully he can get a win in my car. That would mean a lot to me just because I got my first win with it, and it would be very special. And it's some big races coming up, and for him to win some of those big races that he's never won, would mean a lot, and end this year on a high note instead of a low note. And we also owe it to our fans, our subscribers, our sponsors, the people that dedicate their time each and every week. You just can't give up just on one little deal here. So,
well, like with anybody who races is in the sport, you think about it, there's a lot of ups and downs, and quite honestly, nobody wins every race and every weekend. There, and so when they always have the saying of if you're second, you're the first loser. And it's kind of true. So most of the time, there are times when you win and it's all great, but most of the time you have to regroup, look forward to next week, put the weekend behind you, and move on. And so this year has been full of quite a few extra challenges. But again, this situation, like every other thing that's happened, you just figure out a new plan and you move on, and that's what we're going to do here. So
we have to. There's only one way out of it, and it's just keep going up. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. We could have been in a bad car accident, or something else could have happened. Obviously not with hitting a bump in the road, but you just look at it, and it happened, and you move forward, and turned a negative night into a positive night and enjoyed our time. And we didn't make the big show, and that's not a knock on James for anybody that's watching the video. They're tough. I talked to Jay Richardson, and I talked to Les Duhlman. Some of those names you guys might not be familiar with, but Jay Richardson owns SSR Race Cars, and Les Duhlman owns Dirt Dueler Chassis down in Winona, Minnesota. And they said, some of the B-mods are some of the harder cars to drive, just because you can't screw up and you can't throttle out of it. And like I said, it's not a knock on James at all. I truly believe he tried, and that's all we asked for him. And you know what? It's not like he got in the car and you just go practice.
No.
I mean, he got a call an hour before, probably a half an hour before we're supposed to race, and just happy, he took the opportunity and drove it for us.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would have said no, because one,
Right.
they don't want to not do well and not have a good showing. So not getting to practice the car prior, or not having raced one for a really long time, they would have just said no. But he was willing to and said yes. Although on the phone conversation, he was like, "What? Drive your car?"
Well, I'm sure you can barely understand me. I was very in much pain. I was in a lot of pain.
Yeah, because
and I was cussing, and I apologized ahead of time. I said, "I'm sorry if I cuss, but I'm on my way to, hospital, get my shoulder put back in the location." It was out really good, and
yeah. So he said yes. He was willing to, for a friend, do what needed to be done. And then the other thing is, because we have this YouTube channel and we're videoing, a lot of people don't want that either. They don't want to be on camera. They just don't want to do that.
That was another big thing, is that he was willing and able to be on camera, and Kaylee too.
Yeah.
It just would make it very difficult if we couldn't film him, and that's obviously what we do. So take the chance, and it all worked out.
Yep.
But moving forward, I'll put Dad in the car for this upcoming weekend, and we'll just see where that goes. And like I said before, I'm not going to push it with the doctor. If they give me the clear to get in the car, and in a week or so, I'll get in the car. But they don't want me pushing it. I'm not going to push it.
Well, why don't you explain, though, that this is the second time this has happened? And the ER doctor, when Cody asked, "So you suggest I not race
This weekend?
this weekend?"
Yeah.
And she says, "No, if you don't give this time to heal this time, it's going to come out again, and then you will be having surgery. So more than likely. So MRI is the doctor's appointment on Friday is the next step, and then an MRI to kind of see what's going on in there.
Yep.
And then probably therapy.
But hopefully they'll be like, you know, Cody, it actually looks really good. Get back in the car. That's what I'm hoping for. But I doubt it. I doubt that they even go that route. We'll be ready either way with the driver or with me. Focus has completely changed. I felt bad, you know, even on Sunday when we woke up. You know, I used to doing everything by myself, or a lot of it by myself, and Dad has to help now. So Amber has to help a lot. Mom has to help a lot. She's totally different, you know, aspect on the whole deal, and it's gonna be different going forward. But I'm up for the challenge, and let's just make it a good one. Yeah. Special thanks to everyone that helped out this weekend. Amber, Mom, Dad, John, Corey, Owen, James Giassi, Kaylee Nerby, Jimmy. Thanks, Jimmy, for coming to practice and helping me find that problem. Jim Olson, Sunday. You know, everyone that came over with the nice, kind words, encouragement, you know, referrals to go see special doctors, to get this therapy underway and have me in a good spot for next year. I greatly appreciate it.
Thanks to everyone who came and purchased t-shirts.
Yeah, and everyone that stopped by and said hi, you know. It goes on further than I can even say, but we're blessed to have you guys, and blessed that you guys come down and purchase our shirts and watch our YouTube channels every week. Without you guys, like we've said many times, we wouldn't be doing this. So thank you for that. Special thanks to all our sponsors: Willow River Saloon, Casey Farms, GRP Motorsports, FYE Motorsports, Dirt Race Central, Dolman Auto Body, CMD Race Shocks, Jiggy Signs, Concrete Concepts of Richmond, Photos by Fizzle, Kirkpatrick Law Office, M&B Services, Fast Factory, Tyler's Custom Service Prep, Auto Value. You know, I have to say thanks again to James and Kaylee. I can't explain how grateful I am for answering my phone call and you know, stepping in when I couldn't be there. Again, thanks for taking my shocks every week. Every time I would bend one up, bring them back to the shop and bring them back home for me. I'm more than thankful, as you guys can probably tell, but we'll be back at it again here shortly. But be sure to watch us. I'll watch our Facebook page. I'll let you guys know probably in the next couple days here what our plan is for Saturday. But we'll be at one of those tracks, either like I said, Madison Speedway or Granite City Motorplex, I think. It's in Sauk Rapids, Minnesota. So please like the video, comment, you know, how your weekend was, where you'd like us to be the rest of the year. We do have one planned show, or a couple planned shows. The first one would be the Fall Classic at Ogilvie, Minnesota. It's the second weekend in October. The following weekend, and it's never happened, but we have it on our schedule, is the Superior race. It's called the Can-Am. And that's the third weekend in October. So those are our two planned races. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully it's just 2 weeks for me, but if not, we'll see where we end up. Don't forget to subscribe, tell your friends and your family about us, and hope to see you next time.